What's up you guys, I'm Eric and welcome back to my channel. No, you grow up. In today's video we're going to do the same exact thing we just did for NECA, except we're going to do it for Super7 and it's all just going to be one video. So I'm going to touch on each of the figures that have been released or announced from waves 1 through wave 9. Not much else to say, you guys pretty much know what you're in for. Let's get rolling on this one. Here's my spreadsheet that I made for the Super7 figures. And the NECA figures are based off the original animated series, but the Super7 figures are based off the original Playmates action figure line, so that's what I'm going to be comparing the releases to for this video. So for this video, I'm going to be looking at the Playmates figures, so I would say that the first 4 years of the line are the height or the peak of the line, and then again in 92, so wave 5 is kind of when things start to dip a little bit, and then 93 is when the turtles really start to downslide. So over on this table I have everything tallied up, and I didn't include any of the glow-in-the-dark figures in this, but they'll just be easy to add in for our total later since it's only 8 figures. But we'll come back to this towards the end of the video and take a deeper look at things. So wave 1 would go up for pre-order in spring of 2020, and we wouldn't end up getting the figures until I think late summer or fall. I can't really remember exactly when they hit. But wave 1 was super solid. We got Raph, Splinter, Baxter, and then the Foot Soldier. We got 3 characters from wave 1, and then Baxter came from the second year of figures. So again, all great choices, all solid characters. Wave 1 was really solid. Wave 2 was supposed to hit at the end of 2020, but I ended up getting my figures in early 2021, and Wave 2 was another solid lineup. We got 3 figures from the first year of the Turtles. In this wave we get Leonardo, Shredder, and Bebop, who is one of the best figures in the line and one of my favorite action figures that I have, period. And then we would also get our first figure from the third year of figures with Mutagen Man. We'd end up getting wave 3 in the middle of 2021. It's not terrible by any means, but just not nearly as exciting as the first 2. We got 3 more figures from the first year of the Turtles. We got Mikey, April, and Rocksteady. And Rocksteady is an awesome figure, but he's just not nearly as fun as Bebop is. I don't know why his mold just is so much more bland, but Bebop is clearly the winner of the pair. And then we got another figure from the second year of the Turtles with Metalhead, and I feel like he's kind of an underrated figure. I know mine was the first one where I kind of got those loose hips, and that's definitely the weakest part of this figure for sure. It's kind of a bummer that he's not a little bit stronger in the hips. I feel like if he had vac metal, it would just kind of take him to that next step, and it's a bummer that Super7 just can't do it for whatever reason, but I still think he's a pretty cool mold. So wave 4 would hit in the beginning of 2022, and this wave is still my favorite wave that they've put out so far. So we got Donatello, so that wrapped up all the 1988 figures, so we have all the figures from wave 1 of the Turtles line done within 4 waves of the Super7 line, which is awesome. And then we would get Casey from wave 2, who outside of that little gap between his torso and his legs, he's definitely one of my favorite figures, and I know I have some bias there. And then we would get Mondo and Muckman from the 1990 wave, and Muckman is probably the best figure in the line and still has not been beat. Bebop is great, but everything that's great about him is just cranked up to 11 with Muckman. So the only figure that I have from wave 5 in hand is Krang, and he is definitely a very big disappointment. His sculpt and mold is awesome. I'm happy with his paint, but his legs are just so weak. I can really only get him to stand in one position, and that is a super big bummer. Same thing, I don't have the Leo in hand yet, but all the reviews are pretty much coming in unanimously saying he has very, very loose hip joints, and again, that's just such a bummer for what it's a figure that I just had very high anticipation for. The Turtles in Disguise is one of my favorite sublines. It probably is my favorite subline, and it's just a bummer that I'm glad we're getting a turtle with every wave, but the fact that they've messed up on a turtle is just a really big deal, and it's very unexcusable. It's unexcusable to have problems with any figures, but messing up what is essentially your point figure for the wave is just, again, just inexcusable. But we'd get Samurai Leo from the third year of the figures, we'd get Krang and Leatherhead from the 89 wave, and then we'd get Ray Fillet from the 1990 wave. So still, up to this point, every figure that has came in the line is from 1990 or earlier, from, in my opinion, the 3 best years of the line, and I'm very happy with how things have gone for these first 5 waves as far as figure selection is concerned, not talking about QC or any of that other stuff. Wave 6 is a very mixed bag for me. The only figure that I have in hand so far from this wave is the Slash figure, and I love that figure. I have a review up in that. I'll put the link in the description below. But that figure came out awesome. But the one thing that is really pissing people off about this wave is that these color renders are nothing like what was given to us. I don't mind that my Slash figure was a little bit darker. I kind of like him a little bit darker, but I can understand why other people would want that more traditional green color. Ace Duck is another figure that seems to be riddled with issues outside of his clear deco issues, which are a huge bummer. If you've seen the Mad Hatter review of this figure, he could not even get his wings in his back, which is another just huge disappointment. Again, it's just something else that just seems very unexcusable. It's hard to believe that Super 7 is even letting these figures out at this point in this condition. But looking at the figure selection here, I can take or leave the Mousers. Those are just kind of whatever for me. The Mikey, again, he just looks amazing. He's one that I am very excited to get in hand. He looks awesome and one of my favorite subline figures for sure. Slash, again, I have him. I'm very happy with him. He turned out awesome. I have no complaints there. Ace Duck, another figure from Wave 2, which is another good choice. And then we come to Scratch, which is the first sign of, I don't know if I want to use trouble, if that's the right word for this line, but if we look at every figure that's been put out so far, we don't even have anything from the 1991 wave yet. Everything has came from 90 and earlier, and then we just get this random 6-year figure thrown in here. And I understand why. Scratch is the most rare figure in the main line. And again, I know he's not even close to the most rare figure in the line, so please don't attack me for saying that he's rare, he's uncommon, whatever you hardcore people want to say. Just seems like somebody got some input in here that I don't feel like should have had a seat at the table. This line is all about nostalgia for me, and I do not have any nostalgia for the Scratch figure. The only reason that I even want that figure is because I would like to have a shot at completing the main line one day, and he's clearly just the key piece to making that happen. Wave 7 is really where I start to develop some problems with this line, so it's almost like somebody else has completely taken over the line at this point. I just don't see a lot of rhyme or reason for the picks in this line, and it's just very frustrating to see that they tried to turn such a sharp direction here. The Donatello figure is awesome. Again, he's from another one of my favorite sublines, but it's just really weird that they chose not to finish out the Turtles in Disguise, and it's just a bummer that we're not going to be able to finish out that subline in the first 8 waves. You have Punker Don, which is from 92, the Triceraton, which is a 90 figure, Gorilla, which I'm assuming they just had legal issues getting the Sergeant Bananas name, and he is our first figure from 91. But the Robotic Bebop is where I really just scratch my head. I don't know why they jumped to these figures so soon. They're figures that came way later in the line. He's a 1993 figure, and the Warrior Mikey Metalhead figure is from 1995. I barely even knew the line was still going at that time. Why put these figures in here so early, taking up spots for other figures that we want way more? Wave 8 is far and away the weakest wave that they've shown us so far. It does have 2 figures that I am looking very forward to. The Space Cadet Raph is another one of my favorite subline figures from my childhood, and Genghis looks awesome. That figure I am very excited for. Awesome that we're 1 figure closer to finishing up the 89 wave. But again, the Robotic Rocksteady, I understand that they need to follow up the Bebop, but just 2 wasted slots in my opinion. And then this very unnecessary Shredder repaint. They didn't even go with like the Toon version, which I feel like is kind of what they're half going for here, but why not paint the chest then like the actual Toon figure? I don't understand why they're doing this unique unnecessary paint job, and this might be my first pass for the line. I thought I was going to be all in on this line, but I just don't have any reason to get this figure other than being a completionist in this line. That would literally be the only thing that makes me get that figure. So again, just very disappointing with this wave, and it just seems like they're headed in a terrible direction here. But luckily, when we were shown Wave 9, it was a game changer. They are returning to form. We have all 4 figures from the 1991 wave, which again is still in the prime in my opinion. I think the 88, 89, and 90 waves are my favorite, but 91 is that close 4 spot. Those first 4 years are the golden years to me. They just chose 4 great figures from that year to put in this wave. I can understand why people are upset that they went with the white jersey version. It is the more rare version, and again, I think that's why they did it, because they're like, oh, this is a rare figure, so let's throw it in the line, and people will like it. But again, people want nostalgia. People would rather have the red jersey. And again, I understand they probably can't use the number 23 because of Michael Jordan, and 84 is I'm assuming they went with because that's when the first year of the comics came out, so they're probably paying homage to that. But the figure itself does look amazing, but again, it's just a bummer that this means we are going to go through waves 9 through 12, and that means we're still not going to get that undercover Donnie figure, which means we're probably not going to get him until like 2026 at the earliest, which what in the fuck are they thinking? But anyway, back to this wave. Scumbug looks amazing. I don't understand the reason for the markup on his price, but he does look like a great figure. Zach looks really good too. He kind of does look like a combination of the regular mainline release mixed with the tune version. I feel like his hair is a little bit more hot pink, not quite as purpley, and he has that like sheen to him too, so kind of an interesting choice. Hopefully they pull off the sheen well. And then Wingnut is the clear winner from this wave. Wingnut and Screwloose both look amazing. I cannot wait to get those figures, and again, it's basically like you're getting two figures. Screwloose might not be quite a full figure, but I feel like you're getting a lot with the value here. And then last but not least is that Flock Splinter. Again, another one that I can take or leave. If I don't get the Shredder, I probably will not get the Splinter, because again, it would just be weird to not have just one figure from the line. And this just is another unnecessary version, but who knows, when the day comes I might get them, but we'll see. But kind of unnecessary. But the four main figures from this wave are all dynamite, and it's just a very, just really gives me high hopes that they are going to start going back in the right direction with this line. So again, if you take away the figures from wave 7 and wave 8, everything is kind of right in the pocket that I want. I want everything from the first 4 years. That's where I have nostalgia for the Playmates line, and that's what I want from the Super 7 line. That's why I was so stoked on it at first. That's what they were giving to me, and I just really hope that they keep that going. I hope they don't try to do much more of the obscure stuff or random repaints that are unnecessary, and they just give us the core figures. The Raph was just such a weird choice for that exclusive figure from BBTS. Yes, I understand that they're going with the soft goods look that came out way later again, which is just a weird choice, especially when Undercover Don should have been coming next. That's just a very weird choice. It's a mistake on their part, and again, hopefully we just do get that Undercover Donnie before 2026. But again, the way they're only putting out about 2 waves a year, that's kind of where we're going to be. He's not going to come out any earlier than wave 13 at this point, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But he would be the last figure that if they don't give us, if this line goes under for whatever reason, it would just be a huge hit and a huge bummer to not get that figure. It would be great if we got all the mainline figures from 88, 89, and 90, but I just really hope that they do give us at least all the rest from 89 before this line's over. I'm sure Trag and Rat King are coming, and I really hope they're coming soon, and I just really hope they can get the rights to Usagi. He is probably my most anticipated figure that they haven't shown yet, and I just really hope, like I said, we can at least get all the figures from the first 2 years, and if we could get all the ones from 90, that would be amazing. So let me know what you guys think about this line. Have they tanked it? Are they bringing it back in a good direction? Are you still in? Has it gotten too expensive? Let me know what you think in the comments below. At the time of recording this, I am at 499 subscribers, so I am just about to go over 500, and that just feels awesome. Again, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel and sticking around. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you guys enjoy my content. Like always, feel free to throw your 2 cents in down below. Your opinion is always welcome here, even if it doesn't align with mine. So that's all I really got for you guys in this one. So take it easy, be safe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.